Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got my good friend Alan Paine on. He is with the Rich Club of Houston and a regular contributor on The Price of Business, and I love what he does. I love what Rich Club does. It's helping people one meeting at a time, one event at a time, pursue the American dream. It's just a phenomenal organization. And kind of give us the elevator speech real quick about Rich Club, Alan, and that's richclub.org, before you introduce us to your guest today.
Well, I heard that the way you were supposed to pronounce that, the new hip way, was the way Sigmund was doing this last time. richclub.org. So we are the Realty Investment Club of Houston. We help people learn how to become real estate investors, and the way to wealth is to get your passive income higher than your expenses for the month, and you start building wealth. And so that's become a landlord, using real estate to improve your situation. Best way I can say it.
That's well put. And your guest?
My guest today is a person who's been a real estate investor for quite a while. His name is Byron Surati. Byron is teaching people how to become wholesalers. He's teaching people how to improve their lives.
Awesome. Real quickly, give us your website, Byron, before you get started.
Yeah, website is byronbuyshouses.com.
Byron buys houses, and that spelling is B-I-R-E-N?
Actually, it's spelled B-Y-R-O-N, B-Y-R-O-N, buyshouses.com.
Got it. Go right ahead there, Ellen.
Okay, Byron, tell us a little bit. You and I were talking earlier about how people should get started. So, what do you think is the best way somebody should get started?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the best way is making your phone ring. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of any businesses that's out there. Is if nobody knows what you do, then nothing's going to happen. So really the first thing you got to do is start marketing big time where your phone starts ringing. And remember, you're going to have a large volume of phone calls, of which maybe even just 10% is something that you can do something with, where the numbers work or the sellers are a bit more flexible or more motivated to sell. The other 90% are going to be they want retail, or sometimes they want above retail, things like that. So you got to go through a large volume of phone calls to get to the 10% where you can do something with. And to do that, you got to spend a lot of marketing money.
Let me ask you, what kind of what does that marketing budget look like?
Well, my marketing budget's about $1,500 per month, but a lot of my associates, I mean, they're spending $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, even $10,000 per month. But then when they're spending that kind of amount, their phone's just ringing off the wall.
Yeah, very good. Go ahead.
I mean, it really comes down to, honestly, the guys who are spending $10,000 a month, they're doing over 10 deals a month. So, and their deals are averaging about $10,000 a piece. So it's just something they have to do. Now, but here's the thing, Byron, that I wanted to ask you about. I've had a lot of people tell me, I sent out 10 letters and I didn't get a response. So, what should the expectation be?
Did you say 10 letters?
10 letters.
I laugh at that. It needs to be 1,000 letters. You need to add a couple of more zeros to that. 10 letters. For direct mailing, you get about 1%, maybe 2% response rate. So if you send out 10 letters, you're looking at 0.01, which is not even close to one phone call. It's when you send out 100 postcards or mail outs, you get one phone call. That's 1 out of 100. That's why if you send out 1,000 of them, you're going to get 10 phone calls, and even those 10 phone calls are not going to be great, but that's much better than 1 or 2 phone calls.
Yeah, and certainly no guarantee, even with 10 phone calls, that any one of them is going to translate into a deal.
Right.
Absolutely, and that's why thousands and thousands and thousands. And again, direct mail is just one thing. There are several other ways to make the phones ring. Direct mail is just one thing.
You got it.
Name some other way.
Well, a lot of it depends on your budget, but one of the other ones, obviously, you can have a really nice SEO'd website. Having the website's no big deal. Anybody can create one for $99 or thereabouts, but it's the SEO.
What does that mean?
The search engine, you got to be on the first page or second page of Google for your thing to have traffic, or you got to have some nice landing pages and all that kind of stuff. The website's another way. There's several others, like if you got the budget for it, you can do billboards, and that will really make your phones ring. But if you are on a low budget, then what you can do is do what's called driving for dollars. You basically drive around neighborhoods looking for distressed properties, and then send them a postcard. And that's a little bit lower on the budget in terms of, you're not spending the billboard kind of money.
It's a lot more labor intensive, though. Definitely.
Well, if you don't have the money, then you got to spend the time. It's time or money kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's huge. I mean, the time or money thing is the huge one. So, I mean, for a newbie coming in, and they have, let's say somebody who's not working right now, what is the highest recommendation?
Oh, if they have plenty of time and if they don't have any kind of a budget, then driving for dollars kind of would be the best way. Or they can go work the pre-foreclosure market where they could go knock on doors, or they can make some cold calls, basically phone calls, calling all the for sale by owners, for rent by owners, things of that nature. So there are plenty of ways that people who do not have the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 budget, for them to still do things. It's just that it'll be time consuming. They got to spend the time because they don't have the money.
Yeah, it's just a life full of trade-offs. You talked a little bit about the problem with, what you do when you're going around driving for dollars. You look for homes that look like they are in a position where they may be distressed, even early signs. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, absolutely. First of all, when you hear other people talk about driving for dollars, they're just saying go look for vacant houses. See, mine, I don't do that. What I do is I look for distressed houses. And to me, my thinking is that a distressed house, a house that has an appearance of distress on the outside, usually has a resident or an owner or a tenant that's distressed in the inside. It's basically, you can tell a person by their body language that they're in distress. Well, that same thing carries over to the house.
It's called deferred
the way the house is kept on the outside gives you the indication that the owner or the tenant is in distress situation. So, obviously everybody talks about tall grass and, newspapers on the driveway, stuff like that. But I go way beyond that. You look for mailboxes. You look for the windows that can easily be fixed but are not, things of that nature. You look for other signs to find distressed property.
It's one of the
property.
Now, Byron, you have something going on this weekend. What do you have? What's going on at the Rich Club this weekend for you?
This weekend, I am doing a seminar for the Rich Club. It's called Lead Generation, Making the Phone Ring. It's an entire day. It's a Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm going to go into basically how you make the phones ring and the websites and the billboards and all that kind of stuff that I talked about. I'm going to go deep into certain strategies on how to make the phones ring. I'll give you a quick example. One of my things is a car magnet sign. And I'm going to go into 5 things on that. First is a pro, the con. The pro of it is, it's a mobile billboard. I mean, wherever you go, there's your sign. So that's that. The con part of it is when you drive up in front of a house and your car sign says foreclosure rescue, a lot of people in the house do not like their neighbors knowing that, they're in foreclosure. So that's the con part. Okay.
What's the price?
The price for the Rich Club members is $97. For non-members is $117.
That's a bargain.
And that's an amazing price for an entire day, 9 to 4, of an incredibly comprehensive seminar on making that phone ring.
They can get more information by going to the Rich Club calendar and richclub.org and going to the calendar and checking out Saturday's event and click on it. You can sign up right there.
Thanks, gentlemen, so much. Appreciate it. When we come back, much more for you. On tomorrow's program, do I remind you, best content here can be found over there at usdatareview.com, and this is The Price of Business.
Sponsored by CAOOY and richclub.org. You've been listening to The Price of Business with Kevin Price, a production of Salem Communications Houston. Be sure to tune in next time for more fabulous insight from Kevin Price. And remember, folks, get your politicians nayed or sputered.